Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, 18th chapter, 10th shloka. Detrimental aspect of material attachment by His Grace Sundar Gopāl Prabhu. Please repeat. Magaradharatmajavitta bandhushu Sango yadi syad bhagavat priyeshu na Ya pranavritya paritushtatmavan Sitya daduran natadendriya priya. Synonyms: ma, not, agara, house, dara, wife, atmaja, children, vitta, bank balance, bandhushu, among friends and relatives, sangaha, association or attachment, yadi, if, shat, there must be, bhagavat priyeshu, among persons to whom the Supreme Personality of Godhead is very dear. Naha, of us, yaha, anyone who, pranavritya, by the bare necessities of life, paritushtaha, satisfied, atmavan, who has controlled his mind and realized his self, siddhyati, become successful, adurat, very soon, na, not, tatha, so much, indriya priyaha, a person attached to sense gratification. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace is Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. My dear Lord, we pray that we may never feel attraction for the prison of family life, consisting of home, wife, children, friends, bank balance, relatives, and so on. If we do have some attachment, let it be for devotees whose only dear friend is Krishna. A person who is actually self-realized and who has controlled his mind is perfectly satisfied with bare necessities of life. He does not try to gratify his senses. Such a person quickly advances in Krishna consciousness, whereas others who are attached to material things find advancement very difficult. Please repeat. My dear Lord, we pray that we may never feel attraction for the prison of family life, consisting of home, wife, children, friends, bank balance, relatives, and so on. If we do have some attachment, let it be for the devotees whose only dear friend is Krishna. A person who is actually self-realized and who has controlled his mind is perfectly satisfied with the bare necessities of life. He does not try to gratify his senses. Such a person quickly advances in Krishna consciousness, whereas others who are too attached to material things find advancement very difficult. Purport. When Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was requested to explain the duty of a Vaishnava, a Krishna conscious person, he immediately said, Asat Sanga Tyag e Vaishnavacha. CC Madhya 2287. The first business of a Vaishnava is to give up the association of persons who are not devotees of Krishna and who are too attached to material things, wife, children, bank balance, and so on. Prahlad Maharaja also prays to the personality of Godhead that he may avoid the association of non-devotees attached to the materialistic way of life. If he must be attached to someone, he prays to be attached to only a devotee. A devotee is not interested in unnecessarily increasing the demands of the senses for gratification. Of course, as long as one is in this material world, one must have a material body and it must be maintained for executing devotional service. The body can be maintained very easily by eating Krishna Prasada. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Patram Pushpam Phalantoyam Yome Bhaktya Prayachyati Tad Aham Bhaktyupahritam Asnami Prayatat Manaha. If one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, fruit, or water, I will accept it. Why should the menu be unnecessarily increased for the satisfaction of the tongue? Devotees should eat as simply as possible. Otherwise, attachment for material things will gradually increase, and the senses, being very strong, will soon require more and more material enjoyment. Then the real business of life to advance in Krishna consciousness will stop. Om Agnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Chakshurmenilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manovistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurum Vaisnavamsha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakanvitamsya He Krishna Karuna Sindo Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namasute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhyasya kripa sindubhya eva cha patithanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha namo om vishnupadaya krishna prestaya bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin iti namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for joining in on our Srimad Bhagavatam class. So this is a instruction by Prahlad Maharaj that how one becomes completely entangled in material world. So the material attachment is very, very strong when a person gets implicated in practically sex life, which is binds a person, very classically explained in that verse 5:8. Chant.
Umshasriya mitunabhavametam tayormito hridaya grantim ahu ato griha kshetra sutapavittir janasya mohoyamaham mameti.
So here it starts off with the Pumsa and Stri Mituni Bhavametan. Pumsa means man, Striya means woman, Mituni means sex life.
In the back.
When they unite in that way, very clear this line. Then what happens? Tayo Mitto, because of their association, their heart becomes knotted. Their heart becomes, that's why they draw the heart like that, no? Very popular sign, right? It's too hard, is it? It's so nice, eh? So what is the consequence of that knotted heart? Right? Immediately you have to have a house, graha. Right? That's why they have to go get one house. Yes? House means what? Mortgage. To do that, you have to get work, first work. Yes?
Yes.
And then you have to get house, you got to get work. Kshetra means work, field of
Yes.
activity.
Yes.
And then Sutta means children after relatives,
Relative.
because you get involved, then you inherit so many people you don't even know. Yes,
Yes.
when you marry, you don't know so many relatives. Suddenly, your family grows. Is it not?
Yes.
And then
With
with A, to support all this program, you need what?
money.
Money. Yes, without money, how? Because the money you also here, no? Yeah,
Yes.
is it not? If there's no money, will you come here? Nobody will come. Yes. See how it goes in sequence. And then what is the consequence? This line they don't know. Janasya moham, you get illusion. By this entanglement, you get illusion. What is this illusion?
Amazing.
Start thinking of in terms of this is mine, that's yours. I and
My.
my. Aham
Mameti.
mameti. See? What's wrong in thinking like that? What is wrong thinking that, oh, this is mine, that's yours? Why? Because that kind of consciousness is uh, akin to the animal.
Mm.
Animals will think like that. Me and
My.
always fighting. It brings about, just like now, India, Pakistan, me, mine, we want this, no, it's ours. Yes, correct. So you see, in this one line, so many things are explained. Can you read the thing?
Yes. The attraction between male and female is the basic principle of material existence. On the basis of this misconception, which ties together the hearts of the male and female, one becomes attracted to his body, home, property, children, relatives, and wealth. In this way, one increases life's illusions and thinks in terms of I and mine.
See how he gets completely wrapped up? Huh? When he keeps thinking like this, so one aspect is that when you get implicated in sex life, so you get this kind of consciousness, me and I. But in another place, what is that number? Krapana, Neha, Tripayanti.
7945.
So this another thing also happened. You see here, 10.
यन्मैथुनादिगृहमेधि सुखं हि तुच्छं कण्डूययेन करयोरिव दुःखदुःखां तृप्यन्ति नेह कृपणा बहुदुःखभाज कण्डूतिवन् मनसि जां विषहेत धीरा नेह कृपणा. Good translation. Sex life is compared to the rubbing of two hands to relieve an itch. Grihamedis, so-called grihasthas who have no spiritual knowledge, think that this itching is the greatest platform of happiness, although actually it is a source of distress. The kripanas, the fools, who are just the opposite of brahmanas, are not satisfied by repeated sensuous enjoyment. Those who are dhira, however, who are sober and who tolerate this itching, are not subjected to the sufferings of fools and rascals.
That point here. So by the uh, sex life, then one develops the quality of being a kripan. It does not become a Brahman. What's the difference between the kripana and the Brahman? Huh? A Brahmana develops saintly quality, whereas a kripana develops all
Demonic.
very demonic quality. In other words, sex life not only makes you think about me and my, it also brings about this miserly
Attitude.
quality. Hmm? You see how people don't know. They think, wow, we should, our whole life is to get some partner and then we will become happy forever. That's the whole, what do you call that? That's why they started this co-education in school. The co-education is primarily to what? For the materialists to increase their so-called financial gain. You follow?
Yeah.
It's a scam. Why? Unless the man and woman unite, there's no money to make. How much money you can make with the brahmacharis? Nothing. See? Huh? So in fact, Prabhupada was giving this analogy. If the person want to employ someone, they'll find out whether he has a family. Because he has no family, then he will not become serious. Yes? Because no obligation, no attachment. Yes? But if there's a family, then yeah, he had to work because you see how the whole. That's why even Lord Brahma also said, yes, this now today the word prison.
Yeah.
The word is used prison now. Brahma also said, you know where's that word? Let the others help them. I don't know, they don't know this one. 10, 14, 36.
My dear Lord Krishna, until people become your devotees, their material attachments and desires remain thieves, their homes remain prisons, and their affectionate feelings for their family members remain food shackles.
Is that spoken by Lord Brahma? Huh? Because the whole idea of someone is to think that he will become very happy in this family situation. But it's not a fact. It is not. Why? Firstly, you say it gives you the quality of becoming what? Very much like an animal. Pasu buddhi,
Ashwin.
animalistic consciousness. Secondly, it makes you develop miserly habits.
Kripana.
Right? And here now you are shackled.
Food shackle.
Hmm? You understand? So where in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna also said this thing. Hello? Simple, basic, let us see the Bhagavad Gita. Where? Huh? What was it?
Manmana Bhava.
How does that relate with this? Come on, what are you talking about? Just simply throw in some words. Is that what you're doing? Out of context. You have any brains? You have any brains? Hello? How does manmana comes into this? Huh? What verse is that? Hello? Huh? Are you reading the Bhagavad Gita? Not reading. Not reading the book. You're reading. He said he's not reading. Reading? Huh? Chapter 3, text 9. So when you don't serve the Lord, then your activity will what?
Binding. Jai Shri Rana.
Huh? Your activities will what? Bind you. Correct? What is that?
Yagnartha karmanyo yatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha.
So lokayam karma
Bandhana.
bandha. Is that?
Tadartham karma kaunteya mukta sangha samacharaha. Work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Otherwise, work causes bondage in this material world. Therefore, O son of Kundi, perform your prescribed duties for his satisfaction. And in that way, you will always remain free from bondage.
Is that? If you don't work for the Lord, then your activities will
Bind you.
and family consciousness takes you away from it what takes you away. And sense gratification. What is that verse in Bhagavad Gita? Sense gratification cannot bring you devotional service. Take it out. Please try to remember these are all basic things, basic, very basic person.
Bhogaishwarya prasaktanam taya.
Chant together.
Bhogaishwarya prasaktanam taya pahrata chetasam vyavasayatmika buddhi samadau na vidiyate. In the minds of those who are too attached to sense enjoyment and material opulence and who are bewildered by such things, the resolute determination for devotional service to the Supreme Lord does not take place.
Right? Yes.
Yes.
Life's purpose should never be engaged in sense gratification. Yes? What's that word?
Jivasya tattva.
Yeah? One verse before that. Dharmasya, yeah. Check that out.
1 to 9. Jivasya tattva jnana.
Kamasya nendriya priti. That's one verse before.
Yeah.
Dharmasya he apavargasya narto arto upakalpayate nartasya dharmai kakantasya kamolabhaya he smitaha. See? Translation.
All occupational engagements are certainly meant for ultimate liberation. They should never be performed for material gain. Furthermore, according to sages, one who is engaged in the ultimate occupational service should never use material gain to cultivate sense gratification.
The Sudras, those who are not Brahminical, the Sudra consciousness is that whenever they get money,
always off it.
Whenever they get money, they will always use it for wine, women, and wine and women mainly. That's how they use the. Looks so dull and dumb. So you see how the mind will become very much entangled. That in this regard, we will go to 7, 6, 8. The whole subject about how this entanglement gets clearly, Prahlad Maharaj is speaking.
One whose mind and senses are uncontrolled becomes increasingly attached to family life because of insatiable lusty desires and very strong illusion. In such a madman's life, the remaining years are also wasted because even during those years, he cannot engage himself in devotional service.
So this point here, see, What happened? This doesn't work.
Yeah, not
Why not working?
yeah.
Next verse.
What person too attached to household life due to being unable to control his senses can liberate himself? An attached householder is bound very strongly by ropes of affection for his family life, wife, children, and other relatives.
That a person attached to household life due to being uncontrolled, unable to control his senses, can liberate himself? Huh?
Cannot liberate.
Can.
Cannot.
In this line, there's another verse, that foot soldiers.
They have.
After that, Sotra Vidini Rajendra.
It's 2-1. Deha Padya
Deha Patya Kalatradishu.
Jane, Atma
So this is how he thinks that the family will save him. Huh? Correct? You understand? Is it this word?
Can I go there?
Go, yeah, please.
Dehapatya kalatradishu atma sainyeshva satvapi.
So the word Atma Saneswar, this Sanes means soldier.
Soldier.
Yeah? Aswat Swapi. Is that? It is Asat.
Yeah.
There's two words, no? Sat and
Asat.
Asat. Asat means useless.
Tesham pramatto nidanam.
Tesham Pramato. Again, Pramato means
Mad.
crazy.
No,
Crazy
no.
idea.
Yeah.
Nidanam. Nidanam means what? Destruction. Nidanam means
Destruction.
destruction.
Pashyan api na pashyati.
You see today's verse. Although he's inside, he cannot see because of attachment. But seeing and not seeing. How is he seeing and not seeing? Pashyan api na pashyati. How is it that you're seeing and not seeing? This is called bewilderment. This is called what?
Bewildered.
This is called moha, illusion. You understand? That's the power of this material life. It is explained in another place. When you get involved with this Maya, you know the place, 108738. Okay? When you get involved, why you get illusion? You cannot see. Why is it cannot see? Huh? Because that's the power of this attachment. The Maya, I don't think, that's why Mama Maya,
Duratya.
Turatyaya. It's not some lightweight thing. Attachment is what? Very overwhelming. Okay? The illusory and material nature attracts the minute living entity to embrace her. And as a result, he assumes forms composed of her qualities. Subsequently, he loses all his spiritual qualities and must undergo repeated birth and death. This is another thing now. First we hear you get into this animalistic consciousness. Then we hear that he loses his what? He becomes Kripana. And now we are hearing that he is what?
Repeated.
He is going to get all materialistic qualities and what?
Repeated.
He is going to suffer birth and death. You see how the attachment is so dangerous. Is it not?
Yes.
Yeah?
You, however, avoid the material energy in the same way that a snake abandons its old skin. Glorious in your possession of 8 mystic perfections, you enjoy unlimited opulences.
So you see how the material energy is so overwhelming. Hmm? Maya is not something that's your friend, don't think. Huh? It is very, very, and this starts with the attraction for the opposite sex. That's why it says among all attachment to the women is the what do you call that? Epidemic of the attachment. There's two places it says this. You know where?
40.
Go there. 331. See that?
The infatuation and bondage which occur to a man from attachment to any other object is not as complete as that resulting from attachment to a woman or to the fellowship of men who are fond of women.
That. And another place also the same point is stressed. Right? 11, 14, 29.
Of all kinds of suffering and bondage arising from various attachments, none is greater than the suffering and bondage arising from attachment to women or from intimate contact with those attached to women.
Same verse, practically.
Yeah.
2 times this is repeated. Yes. Go back to the 7, 6,
9.
7, 6, 9.
Yeah. Yeah, this one finished.
Finish?
Yeah, can liberate himself.
10.
Money is so dear that one conceives of money as being sweeter than honey. Therefore, who can give up the desire to accumulate money, especially in household life? Thieves, professional servants, soldiers, and merchants try to acquire money even by risking their very dear lives.
Is that today's verse also? Vitte. Today's verse, vitte. Vitte means
Bank balance.
money.
Bank.
And the whole household life is based on what?
Money.
Yes. How to get money, how to get money, how to get. Correct?
Yes.
Money is so dear that one conceives the money has been sweeter than honey. I think there's a song like that,
No money. No money.
Honey, honey. There's a song like that,
They took from Bhagavad.
Yes? No honey, no money.
No money, no honey. Anyhow.
So you see how this is the fundamental, what we say, basis of the family
Life.
And if there's no income, then fighting starts. Correct? Finish. Whole thing breaks. Correct? So you see how the whole program, the conditioned soul, is just trapped. And this whole vicious, what do you call that? Family, so-called attraction. Next verse. Prahlad Maharaj is very much categorized, last week we read it, so that how explained there. How can a person who is most affectionate to his family, the core of his heart being always filled with their pictures, give up their association? That's not possible. Right? Day and night, he's only one meditating.
Family.
Especially a wife is always very kind and sympathetic, always pleases a husband in solitary place. very intimate. Right? Who could give up the association of such a dear and affectionate wife? Small children talk in broken language. Hello? He thinks this is Vedic Shastra. Huh? Yeah. Very pleasing to hear. And the affectionate father always thinks of their sweet words. How could he give up the association? One's elderly parents and one's sons and daughters are also very dear. A daughter especially dear to her father. And while living at her husband's house, she is always in his mind. How could give up? Who could give up that association? Aside from this, in household affairs, there are many decorated items of household furniture, and there are also animals and servants. Who could give up such comfort? The attached householder is like a silkworm who weaves a cocoon in which he becomes imprisoned, unable to get out, simply for the satisfaction of two important senses, the genital and the tongue. One is bound by material condition. How can one escape? So now we learn that the attachment, now this is the same prayer. Now today class is about attachment. Now here is exemplifying that attachment. Saying what happens with the wife, what happens to the children, what happens with the
relatives.
Of course, today is just say family life and marriage, but here is breaking down the attachment. You see how? Why is the reason? For the satisfaction of two, the genitals and the
tongue.
Right. That's why spiritual life starts with the what? The tongue and controlling of the
Sex.
genital. Where is the verse it says like that? Do you know? Where? Huh? 7? CC Madhya what? What is the verse? Yeah, take that one out. So to start the devotional service, this organ of the tongue is the most crucial. And among all senses, the tongue is the most difficult to control. Tongue is the what?
Most difficult to control.
Where he says that? Who says? Where?
Bhakti not.
Hello? It doesn't say. Huh? Where he says the tongue is most difficult to control? Hello? Then what verse you say? Manmana Bhava. No, now you change your mind. Huh? 11:8:21. Please try to remember this. These are all basic. See, Tavat Jitendrayo Nasyat Jitendraya Yendrayaha Puman Najayat Rasanam. Rasanam is what? Huh? Taste. Jitam Sarvam Jite Rase. Translation.
Although one may conquer all of the other senses, as long as the tongue is not conquered, it cannot be said that one has controlled his senses. However, if one is able to control the tongue, then one is understood to be in full control of all the senses.
See? So that's why devotional service is starting with the control of the
tongue.
That's now that verse. What is that?
Atasri Krishna Nama.
Take that out. So you start to remember these two verses. How? So the tongue, to control the tongue, the Lord has given heart. What has He given?
Krishna.
Nothing. What has He given to control the tongue? What is He given? What? Very good. Why today class, Prabhupada is emphasizing on that point in the purport.
Yeah.
They were, why suddenly in the family and then he come to Why he put these two things together? Right? Because the tongue is the most.
Important.
Right? The two things that trap you, the genitals and the
Tongue.
and the tongue is the source of liberation. That's why it says here, Ataha Sri Krishna Namadi Na Bhavet Kriyam Indrayi Sevan Muko He Jikva Dao. The Jikva means
Tongue.
Adao, beginning with the
Tongue. Yeah.
tongue. Swayam Eva
Spuratyada.
Purati. Translation.
Therefore, material senses cannot appreciate Krishna's holy name, form, qualities, and pastimes. When a conditioned soul is awakened to Krishna consciousness and renders service by using his tongue to chant the Lord's holy name and taste the remnants of the Lord's food, the tongue is purified, and one gradually comes to understand who Krishna really is.
This is our program. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he introduced. What is that?
Sankirtan.
Harinam Sankirtana. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Why? The chanting is so powerful. The chanting is what? It begins to purify through the tongue. Not just the tongue, through the tongue, you get to trap the what? The problem is you understand, although the genitals and the, what do you call that? Tongue are very vicious. Why they are vicious? Because they influence the mind tremendously. They are what? Influencing the, understand? So because the mind is agitated because of these two very important senses, the person becomes overwhelmed by Maya. Right? Okay, explain in that verse in the Bhagavad Gita. What is that verse?
Manasyashtanendriyani.
Yeah, 15:7. Mamayangso jiva bhuta
Jivaloke jiva bhuta sanatanaha.
manaha tastrendriyani prakriti sthana karshati. Karshati means what?
Struggle.
Suffering. So the mind, because of the six senses, the five senses, it is put into distress. It's put into
Distress.
yes. Understand? Because of this, the very important sense, the tongue and the genital. You follow? So, oh, you got it there. So you see, prakriti sthana karshati, pain. So we have to learn how to control the
Mind.
tongue. Control the mind through controlling the first thing is the what? Tongue.
Yes.
Yes. And therefore, devotional service is so much important because it employs the power of Krishna through the tongue by vibrating his name. By surrendering to me, you can overcome my Maya. By surrendering, Devi Esa Gunamaya, Mama Maya Purade. Mameva prapadyante, Maya metan.
Karantit.
You cannot conquer my Maya by any other means. That's not possible. Not possible. You think you can conquer Krishna's Maya other way? Not possible. All right, even sex life. Krishna never say, of course it's bad. But Krishna say, if you employ in my service, then it's good. Dharma aviruddho, kamos me. If there's desire to propagate children in Krishna consciousness, then it is not bad. So there's concession. That's what? Concession. You follow? But if it is used in an illicit manner, then it's dangerous. Then is what? Very detrimental. Develop all kind of very bad qualities that we read last week, right?
Yeah.
How lust can what? Bring about all kind of
bad qualities.
Yeah? You understand? So this is not some, we are just sitting here and learning something. Prabhu, there's some time. He will rattle something. He will talk all nonsense sitting. We just pass time, make some garland, make something. This is what we do. Is it? Is that right? understanding what is happening to us, because we have been trapped in this material world for how many millions of lifetimes, and what is it all due to? These two things. What is that?
Angan.
Yes or no?
Yes.
And we're all trapped. We are in the system, and look at the system. Everyone is going through the same thing. Yes. Correct? Tangle. Mortgage. Huh?
Moga, Moga.
Children. Education. Come on, look. Huh? You have to spend years. What? No, 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 Prabhu, I discovered this is all bad. I'm coming out. Is it possible? No. You are what? In it. So you see how vicious Maya is. How it's tangled. Go back to 7. What is that?
13.
13 now. See how this whole consciousness, this is how you understand what is happening to me. I am inside this mess. Huh? So how?
One who is too attached cannot understand that he is wasting his valuable life for the maintenance of his family. He also fails to understand that the purpose of human life, a life suitable for realization of the absolute truth, is being imperceptibly spoiled. However, he is very cleverly attentive to seeing that not a single farthing is lost by mismanagement. Thus, although an attached person in material existence always suffers from threefold miseries, he does not develop a distaste for the way of material existence.
Exactly what I spoke. Exactly this verse.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
You see? He cannot see. Look, beginning.
Yes. One who is too attached cannot understand.
He's wasting his valuable life for maintenance of his. Cannot see. Cannot what? Cannot what?
Understand.
Cannot understand. But he's so careful in what? In the household account. Not one penny should be misspent. What's the idea? See that?
Not a single farthing is lost by mismanagement.
So the whole thing is, you see how the consciousness. Huh? Prahlad Maharaj is a fool.
5 years just.
He's a fool. See how cleverly he explaining. Yes? Okay. So this is how we are trapped. As I was explaining, we are trapped.
Yes.
Then?
Next one.
Hmm.
If a person too attached to the duties of the family maintenance is unable to control his senses, the core of his heart is immersed in how to accumulate money. Although he knows that one who takes the wealth of others will be punished by the law of the government and by the laws of Yamaraja, after death, he continues cheating others to acquire money.
So that he doesn't care. Back, borrow, steal. What? Back,
borrow still.
borrow, steal. As long as I get my sense gratification, who cares? Yes? You see how the bad qualities are developing in the heart. The classic example, Ajamil, the moment he associated with the prostitute, he lost all his Brahmic income. And for the purpose of his so-called maintenance, he was prepared to cheat, to do all kind of anything just to get the purpose. See how the whole consciousness becomes very much deteriorating to a very low platform. You understand? This is all subtle. You don't think this is subtly is what? Influencing your mind. You're going and going and going. Where are you going? And they say what? That's the word. Justification, no means. Is that the word? To justify someone, they don't care. You follow? So you see how we are talking about consciousness and how consciousness Especially the materialistic consciousness is targeting in this platform how to enjoy the senses. And they think this is the goal of life. But it is not. It is not. It will not work. It will not. And you cannot see. Then you will say, but everybody is doing it. Everybody is doing, I also will do. Like the philosophy of the goat. If the goat runs, then all the goat will
Follow.
follow. If one jumps, all will
Jump.
understand. They don't see, cannot see. Everybody. You understand this? Oh. Next verse.
O my friends, sons of demons, in this material world, even those who are apparently advanced in education have the propensity to consider this is mine and that is for others. Thus, they are always engaged in providing the necessities of life to their families in a limited conception of family life, just like uneducated cats and dogs. They are unable to take to spiritual knowledge. Instead, they are bewildered and overcome by ignorance.
Those who are so-called materially educated. You see the verse is using very.
Yeah. Oh my. Advanced, apparently advanced.
Those who are apparently advanced in education. This is what is it? IIT. What? Kharagpur. What? I like this Kharagpur IIT.
Mumbai.
I'd like to go there and give a class sometime. I went to this Bombay. I was in a place that's so near to that.
IIT.
Yeah, I was there. This time I was there. So you see how the consciousness is so much into this material so-called what? Advancement. And they all, everyone is tied up. No, 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 you must get something. If you don't get something, then you are finished. Huh? Is it not? The whole thing is geared up to this so-called. That's why that Bhaktivinoda Thakur has sung this word. He's a magistrate. Huh?
Yeah.
Prabhupada quote this all the time. You know. What is that? Jada Vidya.
Jada Vidya.
Maya re Vaibhav. You understand? We are just not, we are not thinking. We cannot think. Why we cannot think? Because you're not hearing the right person. And the only person who can tell you this is someone who is not attached. Huh?
Yes.
If I am smoking, can I tell you don't smoke? Can you? Hey, you don't smoke, huh? And I'm smoking. Will it have any effect?
No.
It will not have effect. It cannot work. So you have to go to a devotee. A devotee means what? Devotee means what? Someone who is unkinchana. I think we explained that point.
Yeah.
The last week, I think that's the point, right? The devotee means what? He is not attached. Correct? Like here, we are going. Someone who is detached. So their words can cut into the, can liberate. Their words can liberate. That's why we are always associating. It is said, even a moment's association with such person becomes very beneficial. Yes?
Yes.
Yeah, so many verses. So try to understand. In fact, Prahlad Maharaj also said that. What is that? Ankit Mahayasam Pada Raju Bhikshe. What is that?
32, yeah.
Check that out. You see, he himself saying, you want to come out of this mess. There's only one way. That you have to go to someone who is free. And you take shelter of them. You go and take association, this word. Niskinchananam, no, Mahiyasam, Pada Rajo, Abhishekam. This Abhishekam means what? You bathe with the Pada Raja means what? The dust. The
Dust
dust from their feet. You do some bathing.
Abhishek.
Yeah? Read the translation. So you want to come out. This is the solution.
Unless they smear upon their bodies the dust of the lotus feet of a Vaishnava, completely freed from material contamination.
A Vaishnava is completely free from.
Material contamination.
There's a qualification of that Vaishnava. Not oh Prabhu, I am Vaishnava, you Vaishnava. What is that? You have to be free from all
Material
contamination.
Persons very much inclined towards materialistic life cannot be attached to the lotus feet of the Lord, who is glorified for his uncommon activities. Only by becoming Krishna conscious and taking shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord, in this way can one be freed from material contamination.
See, those who are materially contaminated cannot capture the lotus feet of the Lord. That's not possible. Although you may see every day, see the Lord is, can you see him? Can you remember? I'm not possible. Why? Because we have contamination in the
Heart.
So unless that contamination goes, then yes, then the Lord will appear. His lotus feet will be in your heart, and you always be seeing his lotus feet, and that's it. Your material life is what? Finished. That's why Kunti also is saying, no, right? Anyone who sees your lotus feet will not see repeated birth and death. Finished. Yeah. So our whole idea is to capture the Lord. Because by capturing the Lord, then all these desires will be, you understand? Without the help of the Lord through his pure devotees, then this program will not work. This program will, it cannot work. You understand? If we really want to purify ourselves, as a method. There's no shortcut. The shortcut is to surrender to the
Lord.
You try to avoid that, then go back again. 7, 6, I think. There's another 18, I think. 17, 18, 17. 17, 18.
Yeah.
It's also a very important word. You see how he's further. Read.
My dear friends, O sons of the demons, it is certain that no one bereft of knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead has been able to liberate himself from material bondage at any time or in any country.
Is that point in?
Yeah.
You see what he says? That no one bereft of knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead has been able to liberate himself from material bondage in any time, in any country. Not possible. He's making a statement that, sorry mate, you're not going to go anywhere if you don't get yourself attached to Krishna. You understand? Any time, any country, you can do. Actually, there's another verse, on this point. I think it's 10:3:27.
To other planets, we say he cannot get
10:3:27, yes. See here, this verse.
Something happened. Stuck.
I think it gave up. Computer cannot keep up. See this verse. Very important, this verse. What happened? Restart.
Yes.
So see how the Bhagavatam, so that's why it says the Bhagavatam is meant for liberating the conditioned soul. Yeah.
No one in this material world has become free from the 4 principles of birth, death, old age, and disease, even by fleeing to various planets. But now that you have appeared, my Lord, death is fleeing in fear of you, and the living entities, having obtained shelter at your lotus feet by your mercy, are sleeping in full mental peace.
See, If you want to get this full mental peace, have to take shelter. Lord's lotus feet. Yes? And the lotus feet will not come, like they say, you want the best of the both worlds. Work, you know.
Cannot.
Doesn't work.
Cannot.
It doesn't work. You only can get the best of one world. And if you want the other world, you're going to pay a very big price. You won't mix oil and water, cannot. Not possible. Understand this consciousness of trying to get the best. Yes? I want this and I want that also, Prabhu. Both. Cannot work. Will not work. Hey, you have to become detached. Or you use everything in Krishna, because that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instruction. Stay at home and chant Hare Krishna and preach Krishna. Solution. Next verse. So you see how in other words, it's saying that you cannot escape this entanglement by any other way other than taking shelter of Krishna through his devotee.
Yes. My dear sons of demons, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, is the original Super Soul, the father of all living entities. Consequently, there are no impediments to pleasing him or worshipping him under any conditions, whether one be a child or an old man. The relationship between the living entities and the Supreme Personality of Godhead is always a fact, and therefore there is no difficulty in pleasing the Lord.
See this point here?
Anyone can.
There's no difficulty because he's sitting in the heart. You can go 7:30, 38. No, 7, 28. 28 or 38? I think it's the 28, yeah.
No.
You go to 7:38.
Yeah, 38. Super Soul.
Can you read this? No, just.
O my friends, sons of Asuras, the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his Super Soul feature always exists within the course of the hearts of all living entities. Indeed, he is a well-wisher and friend of all living entities, and there is no difficulty in worshipping the Lord. Same.
There is no difficulty in worshipping the
Lord.
Because he's sitting in the
heart.
And you see.
Why then should people not engage in his devotional service? Why are they so addicted to unnecessarily producing artificial paraphernalia for sense gratification?
So to do sense gratification, you have to make so many arrangements.
Yeah.
The Prabhupada is explaining.
Yeah.
To eat meat, you must have what? Big slaughterhouse. Yes. To gamble, you must get some big casino. And then what? What is the other one? Illicit sex, you must arrange so many hotels, brothels, so many things. And what is that? Intoxication, brewery, so much hard work to do. But to chant
very easy
and get immediate pleasure,
no difficult.
No cost, no cost. All you have to do is sit down and chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Immediately you connect with the Lord. And you get immediate happiness. And that happiness is unending. That's that verse.
Susukam kartum abhyayam.
Take out this verse. You see how easy? How is it?
Why? 5:1.
Actually, Bhagavad Gita is 5:21, 22. And Bhagavad Gita is easier, so you learn. No? You will remember easily. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is it his word?
Such a liberated person is not attracted to material sense pleasure, but is always in trance, enjoying the pleasure within. In this,
is always in trance, enjoying the pleasure
within.
within. Gita, very easy, you know. Because there are many verses, but in this way you can, right?
In this way, the self-realized person enjoys unlimited happiness, for he concentrates on the Supreme.
So he enjoy unlimited happiness because he concentrate on the
Supreme.
this connection. Hare Krishna,
Krishna.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Ram, Ram.
Next verse, you see, the Bhagavad Gita, next verse, you see.
An intelligent person does not take part in the sources of misery which are due to contact with the material senses. O son of Kunti, such pleasures have a beginning and an end, and so the wise man does not delight in them.
So the wise man does not.
Delight.
So first he qualifies. You see, he's inside here, he's enjoying the pleasure, unlimited pleasure he's getting. But the unintelligent, they are running after the what?
Temporary.
This is the same verse that just now we read, no? See, Bhagavad Gita, simple. Oh, you remember? Easy for you when you explain. This is 521, 522. Why you should not take up this easy process of becoming happy? Simply what? Calling on the. Anybody can do, even a child also can do. That's so difficult. Yes? Correct? Yes.
Yes.
And that's what Prahlad is saying. Why don't you do this? Why are you trying to make your life so complicated? And that's what we are doing. No time, Prabhu, no time. Why no time? Because I'm busy. What are you busy at? Morning you wake up and you run.
Office.
Evening you come back. This is also said. What is that verse? Srotra vidini Rajendra.
Nunam Shantri Sahasranaha. Apaksatam Atmatattvam.
The next verse, I think. The next verse.
Yeah. Shrotavya Virajana.
Running and running. For what?
Grihesh.
Take out. These are all basic verses. Which? Nidraya Hiryate Naktam. What is that? Nidra means what? Sleeping. Hriyate.
Naktam.
And then what is that? Sleeping at night. Naktam is night, no?
Yeah.
And nighttime, not just sleeping. There's two things they do. Sex life.
Yeah.
Vyavaye nacha.
Why?
Sex life and sleeping. And then the morning, Divya means morning.
Morning.
What they do? Kutumba. Barane nava. Just running after to maintain the kutumba. Kutumba means what? Family.
Ardhyataya Rajana. Earning money.
Artha, yeah. You have money now because how to maintain family. Correct? Translation. See, when in 4 lines, the whole thing is explained. Just in 4 lines. How powerful.
The lifetime of such an envious householder is passed at night, either in sleeping or in sex indulgence, and in the daytime, either in making money or maintaining family members.
Present. This is what we are doing. And we are portrayed as, wow, you are a very righteous person, you're taking care of the family, you're doing an honest job, this, that. Wow, okay, big medal for you. You're a fool. What it is. Shasтрically is a fool. Mudoham nabijananti. Understand? Brahma says, you are what? Shackled. Of course, I can take other verses, you call you an ass and a dog. You understand? You know that verse I always quote. I think it's 11:13. How a person knows this kind of thing, you know, only, I think I forgot that verse for a long time.
This one.
11:13:8, I think. Yeah. I mean, trying to be a little softer.
Sri Uddhava said,
Ah,
My dear Krishna, generally human beings know this material life brings great future unhappiness. But and still they try to enjoy material life. My dear Lord, how can one in knowledge act just like a dog, an ass, or a goat?
see? Hello? I am not saying, this is not my words. Hello? What is that Sanskrit? Call a dog and an ass and a goat. That way you'll remember this better. You know the Sanskrit. What is that? Swa Karajavat. Swa means dog. Karaja means what? Ass.
Ass.
Aja means what? Goat.
Goat.
So Swa Kara, ass and a goat. What means like that? Right? You're very educated. IIT. Hello. Huh? Think. You think now what is this? So don't be a fool. The whole thing is to come out of this entanglement. And the only way you can do that is by surrendering to the Lord. Understand? If you don't want to open your mouth and chant, then there's no way you can come out. There's no way you can, not possible. You understand? Then you get into all this consciousness. What? Work is worship. Family comes first. Where do you got these verses from? From the Fool's Dictionary. That's what it is from. The fool got all these verses. Work is worship, family is God. What? Hello. Home sweet home. Hello. I show you one verse, how sweet it is. Huh? You want me to show you that verse?
Sure.
You want me to show? Go. 11, 13, no, sorry. 11, 3, 19, I think. Yeah. I'm sorry I have to speak like that, but it is very important. Because this verse is like that. What am I to do? If Prahlad didn't speak all this thing, I will also be quiet. But it is very essential, is it?
11:3:19.
Yeah.
Wealth is a perpetual source of distress.
No. Next. No, go to 18.
18, right? Sri Prabuddha said, accepting the roles of male and female in human society, the conditioned souls unite in sexual relationships. Thus, they constantly make material endeavors to eliminate their unhappiness and unlimitedly increase their pleasure. But one should see that they inevitably achieve exactly the opposite result. In other words, their happiness inevitably vanishes, and as they grow older, their material discomfort increases.
This is home sweet. Hello. Why this whole idea is to try to make endeavor for attachment to Krishna. It's not that there's no solution. We were getting time. Can you go to the last verse of that 7:6?
21.
Well, of course, the whole program, you go back and read this whole chapter. It's very important. The last verse, you go there. 7, 6.
6:20. 22, 23.
No, the last verse is not 20, it's a short verse. Go down. Last verse. Go to the last verse.
Last verse of this chapter.
7:6. Go to the last one.
29.
29. We're already on the 19. You go back and read because we won't be able to cover this, Yeah. No, this is the last one.
Yeah.
No. Go
Just before this.
Go above. Go above. Yeah. No. Go one more above.
Yes.
I think I got it wrong. 7:7 last verse.
7:7:55.
7:7:55. What's that verse? Yeah. You read this.
In this material world, to render service to the lotus feet of Govinda, the cause of all causes, and to see him everywhere is the only goal of life. This much alone is ultimate goal of human life, as explained by all the revealed scriptures.
You said this much you have to. This alone is enough. What is alone enough?
Govinda, lotus feet,
Huh?
render service to.
Some or other to see, and we can see the Lord very easily by chanting
Hare
Hare Krishna. Where is it stated? By chanting very quickly, you will see the Lord. He's packed up his book already. He's tired of writing. Too much all these verses.
Abhinatvam namana.
773. RD 773. Okay? If you chant very quickly, you will be able to see the lotus feet of the Lord.
Yeah.
Right?
Krishna mantra haite have samsar. Krishna nama haite pabe Krishnera charana. Simply by chanting the holy name of Krishna, one can obtain freedom from material existence. Indeed, simply by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, one will be able to see the lotus feet of the Lord.
See that? That's why we are stressing chant. Please chant. Please what?
Chant.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
There's
Hare.
no other way. There is no.
Other.
So you chant very quickly. Your attachment also will go, and you will be able to see. As long as you chant, even you go to hell, doesn't matter.
Narayana.
Understand? If you chant, doesn't matter. That's the verse also for that. I don't think we are just saying hello. So if you chant, you are successful. It doesn't matter. All you got to do is please wake up in the morning and chant. And then your life, you came first time Mangala Arati, you felt no good. I wasted my time here, is it? Huh? You see how this process is so important. Wake up and everything becomes transcendental. The secret is not that we are showing only by what theory. All these are what theory. We're showing practical. Practical is what? Your mind becomes
Calm.
purified. The mind becomes what? Purified. And when you are purified, you get more energy. You get more. You have more strength. You follow. But you are not purified, then you become very much demoralized, prapana, miserly. Understand? There's another side. So your choice, whether you want to make it or you want to break it. That's your choice. Yes. You want to make it, then quickly, very quickly, what? You should not waste time. Very quickly you should Vishiheta Dhira. Yeah, Turnam, that word Turnam. Before your body falls down and die, Turnam, very quickly you take up this book. So, okay, I think I have spoke at length. I don't want to tire you again with unnecessarily repeating. This guy is just talking over and over and over again. Crazy philosophy, nonsense. I'm going to home, my home sweet home. He's teaching me all nonsense. What is this? Yes? Now darling is calling me. Darling, where are you? Yes. Hello, darling. All right. Any questions? Anything comment? It's getting late. Never mind. You have anything you can put on? I don't know this question.
No questions.
They won't ask questions actually. How to ask question on Prahlad Maharaj? Can.
Cannot.
Yeah, that's why I'm very careful. If I speak all these things, this Prabhu is talking on against householder, this, that. But if I quote Prahlad, then you cannot find fault with me. Yes,
Yeah.
at least I'm safe. All right, thank you very much. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam.
Jai.
Prabhupada ki